What makes these 70s movie car chases the most epic ever captured on film? Simple. They are the kings of raw, unfiltered action, and nothing has ever matched their white-knuckle intensity since. Nobody mastered the art of automotive mayhem better than the filmmakers of the 1970s. Now, we're not talking about today's CGI-enhanced computer-polished sequences. These are the real deal. Actual cars, actual damage, actual stuntmen risking their lives for the perfect shot. From Hackman's bone-jarring pursuit under an elevated train to a Mustang jumping 128 feet with a real human behind the wheel, get ready for the most authentic car chases ever committed to celluloid. With the recent passing of the legendary Gene Hackman, there's no better time to honor the star of what many consider the greatest car chase in cinema history. So buckle up, we're about to redline the engine based on some serious automotive history. And hey, can we get this video to 5,000 likes?
I never heard of Evel Knievel.
Number 10, The Man with the Golden Gun, 1974. Adrenaline factor, 6 out of 10. Starting our countdown is a 1974 James Bond classic. The Man with the Golden Gun featured Roger Moore as 007, being chased by Christopher Lee's Scaramanga through the winding streets of Bangkok. What makes this chase special isn't just the exotic location, but the incredible corkscrew jump across a broken bridge. Bond's red AMC Hornet spirals through the air in a perfect 360-degree twist, landing perfectly on the other side. Now, this wasn't some CGI wizardry, guys. It was calculated by computer, but executed by real stuntmen in a real car. The jump was so perfectly executed in a single take that audiences actually thought it looked fake. But that's the beauty of 70s stunts. They were so incredible that they sometimes seemed impossible. The stunt crew used 8 cameras to capture this moment, knowing they'd only get one shot at it. Now that's movie magic. Number 9, The Driver, 1978. Adrenaline factor, 6.5 out of 10. Before Ryan Gosling was barely speaking and driving in, Drive, Ryan O'Neal was doing it cooler in Walter Hill's The Driver. This neo-noir masterpiece features some of the most precise driving ever put on film. What makes the opening chase sequence so incredible is its restraint. There's no music, no dialogue. Just the roar of engines and squealing tires as O'Neal's character, known only as the Driver, demonstrates why he's the best getaway driver in the business. The chase through a parking garage is a masterclass in tension, with O'Neal drifting his massive sedan through tight corners with surgical precision. Director Walter Hill insisted on real driving, using cameras mounted inside the cars to put viewers right in the passenger seat. No camera tricks, no speed ramping, just raw driving skill that influenced generations of filmmakers. Number 8, Smokey and the Bandit, 1977. Adrenaline factor, 7 out of 10. Not all great car chases need to be serious affairs. Smokey and the Bandit turned high-speed pursuit into comedy gold, with Burt Reynolds' Bandit outrunning Jackie Gleason's determined Sheriff Buford T. Justice in what became the second highest-grossing film of 1977, right behind a little movie called Star Wars. The star of this show wasn't just Reynolds. It was that gorgeous black Pontiac Trans Am that became an instant icon. The film features dozens of police cars getting wrecked in increasingly spectacular ways as Bandit leads them on a multi-state chase. The famous bridge jump alone took weeks to set up, with stunt drivers practicing at gradually increasing speeds until they were confident they could make the 150-foot leap safely. Well, as safely as you can when jumping a car over a collapsed bridge. Number 7, Mad Max 1979. Adrenaline factor, 7 out of 10. With just 400,000 Australian dollars, George Miller created a dystopian masterpiece where the cars weren't just props, but weapons. Cameramen were strapped to vehicles or hung out windows to capture the action because they couldn't afford fancy rigs. Several crew members were injured during filming, and Miller, a former doctor, kept medical supplies on set because he knew accidents were inevitable. Raw, gritty filmmaking that puts everyone in genuine danger. Number 6, The Burglars, 1971. Adrenaline factor, 7.5 out of 10. This French-Italian gem, starring Jean-Paul Belmondo, features a 10-minute chase through Greece where Belmondo did many of his own stunts. Cars race down staircases, crash through market stalls, and even drive inside a building. The Greek locations add unique flavor, with ancient ruins and Mediterranean architecture becoming obstacles. It's like a history lesson, just, with screeching tires. Number 5, The 7-Ups, 1973. Adrenaline factor, 8 out of 10. Made by the same producer as The French Connection and featuring the same stunt coordinator Bill Hickman, this Roy Schrader police thriller includes a 10-minute New York chase with incredibly realistic driving. The chase's most shocking moment, when a car slams into a parked truck, wasn't actually fully planned. Hickman misjudged the distance, creating a more violent collision than intended. That bone-crunching crash wasn't staged, but a genuine accident they kept because it looked so spectacular. Number 4, Blazing Magnum, 1976. Adrenaline factor, 8.5 out of 10. This obscure Italian-Canadian crime movie features a Montreal chase that deserves more recognition. Director Alberto De Martino filmed in actual traffic with minimal safety preparations, resulting in civilian cars genuinely swerving to avoid the speeding film vehicles. A Porsche 911 races through narrow alleys, down staircases, and a shopping mall with actor Stuart Whitman often behind the wheel. In one scene, real pedestrians scatter as the Porsche skids through a crowd. Those weren't extras, but ordinary people who just happened to be there. Number 3, Duel, 1971. Adrenaline factor, 9 out of 10. Before Jaws, young Steven Spielberg created tension with an enormous rusty tanker truck pursuing Dennis Weaver across the California desert. Working with a tiny TV movie budget, Spielberg transformed an everyday driving situation into pure nightmare fuel. Filming on actual highways with real traffic added genuine danger, and creative camera angles made the truck appear more monstrous. Spielberg completed the entire movie in just 13 days, with the driving sequences largely improvised at genuinely unsafe speeds. Number 2, Gone in 60 Seconds, 1974. Adrenaline factor, 9.5 out of 10. The original low-budget indie movie, not the Nicolas Cage remake, features a 40-minute chase that destroyed 93 cars. Director H.B. Halicki was also the star and stunt driver, performing all his stunts, including a 128-foot jump that compacted his spine by several inches. Many crashes weren't planned, as Halicki often drove at high speeds through regular traffic with minimal permits, sometimes with real police chasing him, thinking he was an actual criminal. And finally, number 1, The French Connection, 1971. Adrenaline factor, 10 out of 10. And here it is, the chase that changed everything. Director William Friedkin's The French Connection features Gene Hackman as Detective Popeye Doyle, desperately pursuing an elevated train containing a sniper who just tried to kill him. What makes this sequence revolutionary isn't just the driving, though stunt coordinator Bill Hickman's work behind the wheel was incredible, but how Friedkin filmed it. Much of the chase was shot without proper permits, with real traffic and pedestrians unaware they were in a movie. When you see bystanders jumping out of the way, those are genuine New Yorkers reacting to a car actually speeding toward them.
Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I see a guy pulling in front of me. And bam!
The scene was captured by mounting cameras to the car's bumper and inside with Hackman, who did some of his own driving. The filmmakers drove up to 90 miles per hour through Brooklyn's crowded streets, with Hickman behind the wheel for the most dangerous sections. Gene Hackman, who sadly passed away just days ago at age 95, always cited this scene as one of the most terrifying experiences of his career. The fear you see on his face isn't acting. It's the genuine reaction of a man who feared for his life as the car sped through red lights and against traffic. In an age before digital effects, Friedkin created a sequence so intense and realistic that it won him an Academy Award and forever changed how car chases would be filmed. No green screens, no CGI touch-ups, just raw, dangerous filmmaking that still gets the heart racing over 50 years later. And that's why it remains undisputably the greatest car chase of the 1970s and perhaps of all time. And there you have it, the 10 most jaw-dropping, tire-smoking car chases of the 1970s. What sets these apart is their raw authenticity. There was no CGI, no shortcuts. Just real cars, real stunts, and real risk. These filmmakers and stunt drivers pushed boundaries to create unforgettable moments. Let's take a moment to remember Gene Hackman, whose intense performance in The French Connection helped create one of cinema's most unforgettable moments. His recent passing marks the end of an era, a time when movie stars weren't afraid to get their hands dirty. Which chase was your favorite? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos just like this. Until next time, keep it real, just like these amazing stunts.